Time off in the US, the basics. Welcome to our series on time off for businesses and employees entering the US. In this video, we'll discuss the basics of time off and how the laws and practices in the US can differ from other countries. Let's begin by discussing the varying US regulations when it comes to time off. Like most US regulations, time off is subject to unique guidelines depending on a business or employee's status on the federal, state, and local levels. It's important to understand which laws are applicable to you and your business, as there can be significant differences from one state to another. For instance, in New York, most businesses are legally required to provide each employee with at least 40 hours of paid sick leave per year. Florida, in contrast, does not require businesses to provide any sick leave at all. When a business is operating in multiple states or localities with different regulations, it's important that its policies adhere to all of them. If a business has employees in both New York and Florida, for example, their policy must at least be to provide all New York employees with a minimum 40 hours sick leave. Typically, however, businesses will make sure that their company policies adhere to the strictest mandatory state law and apply them on a company-wide basis. This ensures equal treatment throughout the company and avoids possible complexities, such as an employee moving to another state. It's also important to understand the differences between types of time off and how they should be managed. In the US, time off comes in many different variations, including paid time off or PTO, sick days, holidays, vacation, bereavement time, and others. Each type generally has its own uses, company policies, and legal mandates. Sick leave, also known as sick days or sick pay, is time off for employees to address health issues. This differs from paid time off, which generally can be taken without precondition at employees' discretion. Both paid time off and sick leave may have additional distinctions depending on local law or company policy, including minimum allocations and yearly rollovers. In some countries, it can be typical for an employee to avoid taking time off soon after starting at a new company. In the US, a general rule of thumb is to wait 3 to 6 months before taking time off, though this is not a universal standard and may not apply in all cases. Waiting 3 to 6 months is simply a professional norm and very rarely an official company policy. In addition, if an employee is aware that they will need to take time off before starting a new job, doing so is generally acceptable provided the request is reasonable and communicated during the hiring process. Holidays are also unique in the US. Unlike in many countries, it's not the standard for all US companies to observe the same holidays. For example, only about 40% of US businesses take President's Day off. The rest may instead take off for Martin Luther King Day, Veterans Day, or another holiday. Industry, location, or even company culture can play a role in determining which holidays an American business chooses to observe. Floating holidays are also becoming increasingly popular in the US, particularly when it comes to religious observances. These are flexible days off that allow employees to schedule holiday time according to their preferences rather than employer-determined dates. In total, it's typical for US employees to have 9 to 11 days off for holidays. Here's a list of the holidays taken off by most American businesses, as well as the holidays commonly taken off by some businesses. Navigating the many types of time off and the varying regulations can be daunting, but understanding their impact on your business is pivotal for effective and compliant HR management. In addition, most PEOs and payroll providers can automate the bulk of the process, helping to minimize errors and workload. If you don't know where to start, don't worry, we're here to help. For businesses that need more than tax and accounting, Orbis can set you up with the partners you need to scale up in the US. Contact your account manager or schedule an introductory call to get started.